Check, check. Is everyone hearing me? You're here again with Smart Home Solutions. We're on location and we're ready to do some maintenance. You're gonna love it. So basically, guys, what we're doing today is something really simple, but some customers prefer to have Smart Home Solutions administer this for them because, you know, it's better when you have the professionals do it. But basically, it's just a simple battery change that we're doing, along with the maintenance of the lock itself, just in case, you know, the lock was critically low. Because when it's critically low, what happens is that you don't actually get the remote connectivity feature. And I mean, I guess you can understand that based on what remote connectivity does. It would use a little bit more of the battery life. So in order for it to save battery life, so go into like power saving mode, then it would use less battery life if it is that you don't use the remote connectivity mode. So it locks off itself. It doesn't use that remote connectivity mode because it's just like, okay, we are trying to save battery life so that you can get in at any time, even though the lock is critically low and you are not changing the battery in the lock. So I'm gonna take you to the lock that you can see what's happening. And as soon as they're ready for us, then I'll take you through the steps. But guys, just remember, this lot that we're gonna show to you, it's actually just, you know, look at the scenery in the meantime while they're ready for me, and then I'll go ahead and show you the lock. Basically, what's happening is that the lock has 5 modes of entry, biometric access being one of the modes of entry, as well as the RFID card. If you're usually with us, then this is something that you will know. You also have remote connectivity, which you can do from anywhere in the world. Once you have internet connectivity on your cell phone, and the house where that lock is installed also has internet connectivity. So once both of those are active, then you have no problem with that remote connectivity to the smart lock. You also have something called a dynamic code. It's actually very convenient, by the way. It gives you 5 minutes of access, and that 5 minutes of access, basically you can give it to a technician, the helper, anyone that's coming that is not like a regular person that's going to be there. You can give them that code because it helps them then to basically get in just for 5 minutes. They don't need you to do what we would call a temporary code, because they're not going to be there for an extended period of time. Now they're working on the lock at the moment. I will take you over there to go through the different modes of entry, but let us continue. So the temporary code, now what that does is basically it gives you the option to set the code for more than 5 minutes. So it's unlike the dynamic code. It gives you the option to set the code for an hour, 2 hours, 3 days, 5 days. So for people who are into short-term rental, it would be an amazing lock-in system for you to have, because then you can set the code for the time that you want to set it. So if it is that you have a guest coming in and they're coming in for 7 days, you know, they check in at 12, check out at 3, then that would be amazing, because you can set that lock for that time. And after that time, then they wouldn't be able to re-enter the home because they would be cut off, unless obviously they extend their stay and you would extend the lock. What would you call it? Well, you wouldn't be able to extend it. What you'd have to do is basically delete that code and then give them another code for the extended period, because it would have expired by then and they wouldn't be able to go in with that code anymore. I mean, you can set the same code, but not it's that part's a little bit complicated, but you can set the same code once you delete the next code, because it cannot be like a duplication of codes. The same person having the same code or different people having the same code, that won't work. You have to set up different codes. So right, that's a little bit of information on the lock itself, what it is that it can do. It also has an alarm that is set off, and how that alarm works is basically, if it is that you enter the wrong code not 5 times, 3 times, then it will lock you out, so you won't be able to go in for a period of time. So it would be recommended for you to not do that once it is that you actually want to get inside. So if you're putting in your fingerprint and your hand is probably wet, or you know, your finger is some people, they don't really have good finger prints. I'm not sure if it is that they do some sort of work that rubs down their fingerprint a little bit, but at some point their fingerprints are not like pronounced, so when you put it on the lock, it won't open. That's for some people with pale fingerprints. Other people, they never have a problem. Once they put in their fingerprints, it is good. I hope you're enjoying the scenery, guys. We're actually still in Kingston, just to give you a look around, and I'm actually by the pool right now. We have a little bit of greenery around us, pretty nice view, and out there looks like where is that? Is that the wharf? But you get me. Pretty nice view. So separate and apart from the view, so that's basically it, the fingerprint issue that I just told you about. As for the alarm, so you'll get that alarm once you try to input the wrong code. You can also do something else which is pretty interesting that a lot of people don't actually know about. You won't get locked out even if the battery dies, because these locks are battery operated. It does not depend on your utility to be functional. So if they actually lose electricity, the entire home is gone, you can still go to the door and you can still put your fingertip and it will open. But if the battery dies, don't worry about it. We also have an emergency port, and that emergency port basically makes your battery charge up for like 2 seconds, just so that you can put in your fingerprint. So that's actually an amazing feature that is there on the lock. An amazing feature.
He kept saying it took, so but that we knew was the battery. That's a problem. Alrighty, we are done.
Yes. Well, you're finished with you, right? We're just gonna go through the lock with the video.
Go ahead.
Yes. All right then. Thank you. No problem. So, guys, as I was telling you just now, we have a manual key here. That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about this port. This port is the port that is used for emergency entry. So in the case that Smart Home Solutions is not maintaining your lock or your battery dies, what you can do is actually plug in your portable charger. Once you have a portable charger, you plug it in, and as such it will come up and you can put in your fingerprint just like that, and the door will open. This is actually a home that is being used, so I can't show you the fingerprint right now, but you get what I'm saying. So from there you have the RFID, you have the fingerprint right here where you see that blue right there. You have the coded entry, and then within the whole integration of the lock, there's the remote connectivity. It even speaks to you. Isn't that amazing? And guess what? A lot of people always ask me, is it that the lock once the battery goes, I can't get in? And I just showed you one way that you can get in with the emergency port with a portable charger. So what you actually need is a micro USB portable charger. So you know that micro USB cable that goes into Android phones, that's what you need. And basically all you're doing, guys, is plugging it under here. just for 2 seconds. Once you plug that in for 2 seconds, you're inside, even if your battery dies. And don't forget, guys, you don't have to do maintenance with smart home solutions. You can actually do your own maintenance. All we ask our customers is that you don't wait until the lock is critically low before you actually change the batteries, because then we might have to do some reprogramming of the lock itself. And as such, we would ask you to change before it's critically low. Now, guys, the next thing that I was about to tell you is about the remote connectivity. Now, we just had Mr. Wilkes here activate remote connectivity, and as you can see, it's going from 1 to and it was just unlocked. So it can be unlocked from the phone with no problem. So now you should have a better understanding of exactly what the lock is able to do, how you're able to operate it. I mean, we just spoke about the remote connectivity feature, and basically how you can just open that from anywhere in the world. So as I said before, once there's internet at the location and you have internet on your phone, then all you need to do is tell the person, hey, go to the door and I will open that lock for you. It's no problem. Even if I'm in Antarctica, it doesn't matter where I am, actually, I can get it done. So it's probably one of the locks with the most features right now. And as a matter of fact, don't forget, you have a manual key also. So if all else fails, then you still can get in with the manual key. And that's the point of the Smart Home Solutions lock. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was very informative, as we try to do lives to make it informative and actually make sure our audience understands exactly what we're saying. And this was one of them. And guess what? You're looking for smart switches, want a smart lock? You can call us at 384-4859. We're located at 90B Radios Road, Unit 10, St. Andrew Plaza. Call us.